Live struggle legacy. It's a whole movement.
Hey everybody, it's your boy MP, Live Struggle Legacy, and welcome to the Live Struggle Legacy Podcast, Season 2. Now real quick, if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button. If you're following us on a streaming platform, make sure you hit that follow button. Hit that like button, hit the notification button, drop us a review, drop some comments, get active in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube. It's Live Struggle Legacy, y'all. I have a powerhouse guest tonight. None other than Monteasy, the voice of Teasy's Table, the theme song king. Welcome to the show, brother. Peace, King. Peace, King.
Peace.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for coming.
Love, bro. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. We've been talking about doing this for a long time, so the universe connected us, and I'm grateful to be on here, man. Thank you.
I'm grateful to have you. Seriously, I can't thank you enough. It's been a long time coming. So real quick, I always like to start the podcast with a little bit of a story.
Yes.
So this isn't like some crazy wild story, but this is the story about how we connected, how we met, and I don't know how many years ago. I don't know what the date was. But we got to give a quick shout out to Chris Cage, my birthday brother. Chris and I born on the exact same day. But Chris Cage, if he's been on the platform before, and if you're not familiar with Chris Cage, definitely go back, and I believe that was episode 2 of this season. Chris Cage tells his story. But Chris Cage and I have been making music for a really long time, and Chris always puts me on to opportunities. And he put me on to an opportunity to open up at, I believe it was like a Tampa Bay Bucks party at Janice Live, formerly known as Janice Landing in downtown St. Pete, which is like one of my favorite venues in the world.
Mine too.
I love that venue. And so before I actually met Teasy, so it was Teasy and Swerve.
Yes.
Right? Shout out Swerve. And they did their show. We did our show. They did their show, and I remember being in the audience, and being like, "Man, these dudes have a solid show game." It was a really solid show game. And then y'all came off the stage, and we're all vibing. And Chris introduced me to y'all, told me about the podcast and just everything that you had going on in the wrestling arena. And I remember we linked, and we're like, "Man, we're going to do something in the future." And here we are. I don't know how many years. That was years ago.
Yep.
But see. Everything happens in perfect timing.
Everything happens in its divine time when it's supposed to happen, bro. And, shout out to Chris, man, because I've known him for so long, for a decade now. And since we connected, he's one of the best brothers that I have in this game. You know what I mean? And it's gone beyond just the entertainment business. It's one of my brothers. He's one definitely motivates me in many different ways. And love that dude, man. So thank you, bro. Thank you for everything you've done. And thank you for connecting us.
Amen. Yeah, thank you, Chris. Shout out, Chris.
When I met you, brother, you always had great energy.
I appreciate it.
Always a very, very a great person, a good person. And just from meeting you, you seemed like somebody who like-minded like me. We're kindred spirits in a lot of ways.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Think. So when I saw you start doing your podcast, I was like, oh, this is dope. And then you had Chris, and you had my man T, my main engineer who was on the show.
Shout out T.
And I was like, I was like, that's dope. I was like, I gotta link up. I gotta get on the podcast. So, when we scheduled dates and figured it out, man, I'm glad to be here, brother. So thank you.
Man, I'm so grateful to have you here. I got a bunch of questions I want to ask, but
sure.
Man, I know what you got going on, which we'll get into, and I love what you got going on. I'm a huge fan of yours, bro.
Thank
just so you know that. And but man, I want to know a little bit about the background. Like, how did you get involved in the music? How did you get into entertainment? Like, tell us a little bit about your life struggle. However far back you want to go, however deep you want to go. Like,
yes,
tell us about Teasy.
Well, my initial introduction to music began when I was young, when I was a kid. I wasn't raised into like a musically inclined family where everybody played instruments and stuff. I grew up with music in the household. Mm-hmm. So my mother raised me on the music that I listen to today, which I think subconsciously built me as an artist when I started doing it. So, my mother
she always played different type of music. She played hip hop, but she played Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah.
She played Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
So my growth in music and learning music, she taught me to listen to other things outside of just hip hop when she played, but she played other things. So my appreciation of music came from all different forms of life, which is why I can listen to pretty much anything, which I think has helped me creatively as well. Also, with the fact that my grandmother, who played a lot of the soul music, Marvin Gaye, Bobby Womack, a lot of the oldies. So I got a lot of old soul from her, George Benson, stuff like that. So that's a lot of what I mainly listen to, and to this day. So that was my inclination of how I got into music and my passion. My granddad was the person who first got me into it, in the sense of saying, "Oh, you want to make music? I'm going to do this. I'm going to invest in you."
Was this your grandmother's husband? Like same grandmother, same
Yes,
side of
yes,
the family? Wow,
yes.
that's beautiful. Okay.
That side, yes.
Yeah.
So a story. I'll give you a story.
Yeah.
One day, we were at a pizza shop in Long Island, New York. Excuse me. We had a pizza shop in Long Island, New York, and we're eating, and Flavor Flav walks in. So Flavor Flav walks into the door, and my granddad's like, "I want to introduce you to him." Now, mind you, I'm like 15. I'm nervous because I'm low key. He walks up to him. He's like, "Hey, this is my grandson. He makes music. He's a great inspiration." And Flavor Flav was cool about it. And he just said, "Oh man, keep doing your thing, young man. Keep doing your thing." And he was with a young lady he was dating at the time. So it was very brief, but he was very nice.
So he showed love.
He showed love.
Short, but showed love.
And I went back to eat, and my granddad was like, "The reason why I did that is because I never wanted you to be afraid to walk up to somebody. Never be afraid to cold approach somebody. Never be afraid of anybody. Don't be intimidated by somebody because of who they are."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it taught me a valuable lesson at that end. So he introduced me to my mentor, rest in peace. My granddad and my mentor, Shamel Duran, are both not here anymore. God
Sorry
bless
to hear
him.
that.
Thank you, brother. But Shamelo produced Busta Rhymes, Put Your Hands on My Eyes Can See. He made that beat. Shout out to him. And he produced for P.D. Pablo, a lot of different people. But he was my hardest critic in the music industry. He would always be hard on me. "Nah, that song's not good enough, bro. You could do better. You could do better." So he comes from the lineage of Chuck D. Chuck D from Public Enemy was his mentor. Him and Busta Rhymes' mentor. Chuck D named Busta Rhymes. So you have Chuck D, who was the tree who got Sharmello and Busta Rhymes in the industry, and I'm under the Sharmello tree.
That's what's up. And Sharmello is the producer that made the beats.
Yes.
Okay.
For Busta, they came up together. Him and Busta came up together. So he taught me something that is that Chuck D came up with. It's an acronym called CLAMPS, and this is something every artist can use. I give the game. I'm gonna say it. So as an artist, he taught me a word called CLAMPS. C is for concepts. L is for lyrics. A is for appearance. M is for music. P is for personality. And S is for strategy. If you said, very few artists have all five. Even, he said, the great legends probably have four. The greatest of all time have four. He said, Tupac, many of them were the only few that had like all five.
Yeah.
But he taught me that. And he said, you will be great if you can master three strongly and add an additional fourth one that you're good at, you're out of here. So I said, okay, let me see how can I adapt this. So concept, what's my concept? What am I doing this for? Lyrically, I want to make sure I'm strong lyrically. What's my appearance? Even if my appearance isn't the strongest, can my personality overtake the appearance? My music, can my music be good? And what's my strategy? So even now today, in my late 30s, I'm still trying to master the ones that I'm good at and also work on the things that, I'm working on. Like, I went through some health concerns, so my strength could probably be my appearance right now as I'm trying to get back healthy. So as I'm working on getting back, I realize that's the thing I have to work on is the appearance. Okay, cool. But I can overtake that with my personality, with my concept and who I am, the wrestling and stuff, and my strategy, along with the music. So if I can master those four and get my appearance back, then I'll be good money once the appearance comes back. But let me at least know what my self-awareness is that I need to work on. So when he told me that, it started spinning. Yeah. So when I was 15, 16 years old, that one thing he taught me was there. So from 15 to when he passed a couple of years ago, he was always giving me game. Antoine, don't be afraid to put melody in your music, bro. You're lyrically strong. I love your wrestling songs. Don't be afraid to try melody. He said, I love Young Thug. He said, I love him because he's lyrically strong, but he has great melody.
Yeah.
So he said, the melody is the one thing that, he said, if you don't know how to do it, he said, Jay-Z had the greatest approach, where Jay-Z wasn't a melodic dude, but he always picked the right people who was melodic on the records to tell his story. Yes. He said, even if it's not your strength, pick the right people to convey your message. I said, okay. So that was my upcoming rank in the industry from who started me, how I started, to now where I am kind of a mentor now and I'm passing the game. So that's my story on how I started, how it was built, and then it continued now 20 years later.
Man, I love that. And man, if you're in the audience and you're watching this, you might want to rewind that, get a pen and paper, because this man just put you under some serious game. And I love that about you, bro. Like, so we had an off record conversation on the way here about how, people find a breakthrough and then they gatekeep it and then they block everybody. And then, it's like, why? It's like, why does it hurt you to share? I know I could see if it was like some top secret thing that you had to protect because of whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever reason, right? But to just not share things that can help people potentially. I mean, and not necessarily about financial gain or anything like that, but just being a better person and growth and mentoring and coaching, like that's solid. And I appreciate you sharing that.
It's no problem. The reason why I say that is because this. I don't know if you ever, it's a video game called Age of Empires. It's a computer game. If you never played it, it's a game where you start as one person. You're literally one single person. You build a colony. So you build what's called a townhouse. And that is how you create people. Then you have to build food. You have to build an army to protect your land. You have to have fishermen for food. You have to have builders that just build buildings. You have to have farmers. You have to have people that's hunting for stone, people that's hunting for gold. Then in the game, you can create allies where you have other colonies that you're allies with. The reason why I say this, and it goes to your point, is because you might have gold. That's your strong point. I might have food. We trade resources. Yes. As long as nobody's screwing nobody's wife, you know what I mean? Or messing with anybody's family. Yes. Bro, let's network. Let's make things happen. You know what I mean?
I love that so much.
Man. Look, man, if you got gold and that's your strong point, hey, my colony, we have the most gold in the nation. I know I can go to Teasy for food. Teasy, our colony's running low on food. Let's network, because this is instinctively about survival. Yes. The more people that's connected and there's no egos at the door and everybody can work and everybody can connect or adapt to somebody, the whole colony wins at the end of the day, and it's survival. I never understood this because the music industry is kind of weird. Yeah. If you look at credits for a Michael Jackson song, there's like 20 people on the credits. Somebody played a horn. Don't stop till you get enough. Somebody did drums. Somebody did the bass line. Somebody did the guitar. Everybody gets a piece of the publishing in the song because everybody contributed. Exactly. Yes, Michael Jackson is the person that gets credit because he's the one that sang it, but there's like 9 people, 10 people that worked on that record.
Minimum, right?
You get what I'm saying? Maybe even more people.
Exactly.
So why am I gatekeeping information? I have a saying where I say, this is some game. It's like, I'm 100% comfortable in myself because my statement is I don't hate on nobody and I don't wait on nobody. Yeah. I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
Whether you want to be involved in it or not, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
But I'm not going to hate on you. I want you to be successful. I know how hard this world is. You know what I mean? I know how hard this is to make a move and to have a creative idea. You're looking on social media, you see 89,000 people doing podcasts. I don't care about that. Exactly. I'm doing what I have to do for me. This is for my spirit.
There's only one Teasy.
There's only one Teasy. There's only one MP. So how can we give our thoughts and our message to the world? You know what I mean? Yes. So I'm not going to gatekeep information. Yes. Now, if you use it, that's absolutely great. If you don't, can't say I gatekeep or nothing. Hey, it didn't apply to you.
And it didn't hurt you.
It didn't hurt me none. So what do I look like going back? Nah, let's block him. Nah, let's not give him no opportunity. Nah, I'm not blocking nobody else's blessings.
Amen, brother.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. I'm not blocking no man, no female's blessings. Whatever you take from it, I salute you. I wish you the best. Everything ain't got to be done by contract. If me and you got this connection, man-to-man contract, and we shook hands, look each other eye to eye, that's a lot of the contract that I do.
Yes. Yes.
So if you do anything to me that is spiteful or dirty, then I cut you off, and we go our separate ways. I'm not going to go through the industry thing of waiting to get my lick back 30 years later. That person wasn't meant for my energy.
See, we think alike in that sense too, because when I was younger and dumb and, in the street shit, nothing ever good ever came from being vengeful and being bitter. You know what I mean? It's like, I've learned, even when people do me dirty, I keep things positive. I take the high road and I don't, you just keep it moving, bro.
Do you know how much energy it takes to go to war? Like, you know how much energy that takes? Especially in the industry where you can't physically do something to somebody, and it's all mental. So that means I got to think about you while I'm doing these things and have all this hatred or one-up-its just to get my get back on another human being. I do not care enough. Yeah. Like, bro, go ahead, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like Keanu Reeves said a great thing. He's like, I'm at the point where if you think 1 + 1 = 4, you got it, bro.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
That's how I live my life. Hey, bro, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to debate with you. That's how you feel. You feel like 2 + 2 = 17, and you have this dead argument. Bro, I wish you the best, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you save it. You're adding years to your life by doing that. Because like you said, the amount of energy it takes to beef and be bitter and just negative energy, man, it'll slow you down. It'll stop you.
Yeah.
And
you can't control what another human being does. So why lose sleep over it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I watch documentaries on animals all the time. Yes. I watch lion documentaries and see how lions live. I watch animal documentaries and I see how human beings relate to that and how they live and how cutthroat it is and how back and forth it is. But the strongest colonies are like the wolves, the hyenas, the ones that roll in packs.
Stick together.
They live the long lives. Mm-hmm. They last. And 15 hyenas can take down one lion. So I'd rather roll with the pack of my team. We all work together and base for survival. So that's how I move it. That's why I don't get keep.
Yeah.
I don't get jealous of no man or no woman. Hey man, whatever God got for you, God for you. Because I'm going to be all right.
That's right. That's right. Because God got you.
He got me. He's
Amen.
never failed me.
Yes, sir.
Never failed me.
So real quick, you jumped to Long Island, right? And that's where you started. So is that where you're from? Are you from up north?
I was born in Queens, New York.
Okay, that's what's up.
But I was raised here.
Okay. So how long? When did you move? When did you make the transition?
Oh, I was young, man. I moved down here, like in elementary school.
Okay, so when you went and visited,
but I always visit a lot.
That's when you saw Flavor. Okay.
Yeah, that's when I saw Flavor up there. I always visited New York. Like I'm always up there. Most of my family's up there, but I was raised here, so I was blessed to see the life of New York from my dad, from my mom, my grandma, my aunts and uncles and everybody up there. But I was raised here, so I have a good aspect of living in the South and up North. So my perspectives on a lot.
Yeah.
It's very open because I've seen a lot.
Exactly.
And learned from a lot of people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so that's something about growing up down here and having that connection up there, because I don't know about when you were coming up as a kid, but there was always this kind of weird thing between New York and Florida, like kind of hating a little bit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like the different, the Southern genre. And then for a while, it was like people didn't even consider Southern music like music, like hip hop. It's like, oh no, it ain't. And so then there became this whole, and I never subscribed to that because I grew up on Wu-Tang, I grew up on Master P. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's all love, it's all hip hop, and
it's all expression. Huh?
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's all about music, and for me, music is unity, bringing people together. It's frequency, it's vibes. So now you talked about kind of the seed, the mentors. When did it really get cracking for you here? Like, when did you really start recording and deciding that you were going to be a recording artist?
Yeah, so I started recording at home, man. Like, I do like what every artist do. They invest in themselves. They buy home equipment. I was not a good engineer.
But you were doing it.
But I was hungry.
Yeah.
I was hungry. Yeah. In my grandmother's third bedroom recording, just rapping.
And your grandfather helped you get it together a little bit?
He gave me the inspiration. My grandmother actually helped me put the stuff together for recording.
Yeah, man, that's amazing to have that support from.
That's the reason why I'm here, is the support system. Without them, I'm not here.
Yeah.
So I first bought my home equipment, and then I ended up buying the first studio session I went to was to my man Wiz. Shout out to my man Wiz Productions out in Bradenton, Sarasota. That was my first inclination of recording, going to a professional studio in 2008.
Okay.
So at that time, I was just out of high school, graduated 06, out of high school, went to my first professional recording studio, just went crazy. Recorded song after song, just got better.
Yeah.
Just got better recording. And did tons of songs. You know what I mean? And worked on my craft. I tell artists this all the time, just work on your craft. Yeah. Every song ain't gotta come out, but just work on getting better. So I worked on, rapping to 3 6 Mafia kind of beats. I started working on Bone Thugs type of beats, Twista, working on rapping fast, working on rapping slower, doing different inflections on my voice. I wanted to do every style.
Yeah.
Just to be a Swiss Army knife. So my mentor always told me there should not be one beat that you hear that you can't do something to. There should be something, even if you don't like the beat, even if you don't like it. There should be something.
It's the challenge right there. I always looked at it like that. Somebody would give me a beat, I'm not really feeling it. I'm not going to tell them that. I'm not going to be, but if they're asking me for different beats, I'll tell them. But if they're like, hey, this is the beat, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
Let's see what we can do.
How can I make a souffle out of this? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Even if it's not a gourmet meal, how can I make it? You know what I mean?
Bro, I love your metaphors. You've dropped so many before we even got on the show in the car, you were dropping these heavy metaphors. I saw some clips of your last podcast. Heavy metaphor. You speaking my language. I understand life through metaphors. So
that's just how I was raised.
But plus you're a writer. So
and a writer, you know what I mean? How can I put these things together and make it relatable to life? So when I started recording back in 08, then I went to Shorty T.
Yeah. Shout out Shorty T.
2015, 16. And we probably right now, with how much I've recorded, we probably have about 3,000 songs in that hard drive. 3,000 songs. Maybe
you've been working.
Maybe, I'd say between 2,000 and 3,000. I'd say maybe out of all them songs, I'd maybe say about 1,000 to 1,500, maybe even more wrestling songs. And I've literally I just did a session with him today and did 3 wrestling songs in an hour.
That's what's up,
Just did a session with him this morning and did 3 wrestling songs in an hour, and then did some edits to the Russell record. But
you're putting in some work.
Man, this is all I do. I believe in the Lil Wayne effect, the Tupac effect. I'm dying with my cup empty.
Yeah.
When I leave this world, I don't want to have any creative ideas left. I don't want to, when God calls me home later in life, I don't want to be laying there feeling like I did not creatively do everything that I wanted to do.
See, bro, you're the perfect guest for this platform because that's the whole idea. Give your gifts to the world before it's too late.
Absolutely.
And Shorty T, he really shined on the show, bro. He was like, man, dreams, because we use the word dreams a lot, and even like, in a positive light, like, you know, you gotta follow your dreams, you gotta pursue your dreams, you gotta chase your dreams. Shawty T's like, man, fuck a dream. A dream come to a sleeper. You gotta figure out how to make your dream into a plan, a workable plan. And so when you have that workable plan, then you're giving your gifts. You have a plan to release these things. You have a plan to take these ideas, these concepts, and bring them to fruition.
But to add to that,
yes,
you have to put it into fruition, but you also got to be adaptable, and you also cannot worry about what the next person's doing.
Yes.
Worrying about what the next person's doing, what they have, their subscriber count, their followers, who they know, how famous they are, who they taking pictures with. You can't worry about that. You have to have a linear focus on what you're doing. And I'm telling people this now. If you have hard work, but also can develop patience and be able to wait your turn and know that when it's your turn, you're going to shoot, it's phenomenally done. I relate everything in life to basketball. Animals and basketball.
Yes.
My role on the team, when it comes to wrestling music, I'm like Kevin Durant, LeBron. I'm gonna get voted in. I already know that. But I know that in certain other aspects of what I'm doing, I'm shooting to get my spot in the league.
Yeah.
I'm coming into the league on different things. What's needed for the team, I might need to grab rebounds in this situation. I might need to guard the best player on the other team. I might need to score 30 that night. I might need to drop a triple-double. But I just want to win.
Yeah.
And I tell artists this all the time. You have to understand how to adapt. And the scrolling thing on social media, watching what other people's doing, is killing your vision. Yeah. Use it as inspiration, but watching how many people come up and you feel like it should be you. If you're not motivated, you're either going to be motivated or you're going to be jealous. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
So if you be motivated, take it and not worry about what anybody else is doing. I didn't realize this till I became successful in what I was doing, how successful people really are just this. They're linear.
Tunnel vision.
But they're coachable. T gives me a lot of advice sometimes. The T say try it. I'm like, you're right, bro. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers. Swerve, anybody I work with, they'll give me some advice sometimes, and I'll be like, you know what, you're right. You know what I mean? I'll take that advice. I don't have all the answers. Just like how me and you was talking to say, hey, anything about the podcast you can give me some advice on that you see, you're going to win because you have a winning approach that way. That's why you're going to win. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to apply what works, what's going to work for you to win. That's what it's all about. It's about applying what works for you to win. You know what I mean? So when I started making music and I got to that point where it was building a building block for me to be a professional, then I had to learn the music business. And anybody that tells you this that does music, people can't stand the business part of it. But if you understand it and can work around it and kind of be emotionless about certain things, that not emotional is how you treat other people, because you treat the owner how you treat the janitor, but on not letting the business mess up your mental, you'll be fine. Just
not taking everything personally all the time.
Not taking everything personal. You know, we're in a job where it's not. Here's another analogy. When you said you was stopping by Publix earlier because you had to go get some things. I worked at Publix for many years on my come up. In that job, you have a destined schedule. I know at 6 o'clock I'm going to go stock shelves. I get off work at 2 o'clock. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know the aisles I'm going to be at. I know how big the truck is. I know when my break is. I know when it's time to go home. This, we don't have that. We're moving off creative schedules, impulse. Things are random. I get a call about doing a theme song. 1 o'clock in the morning. It's got to be due 2 days from now. I have nothing. I don't have a beat yet. Nothing. I just got to make it out of thin air. That's how this industry is. Yeah. So, in my come up in music, I had to learn that. I had to learn to balance the creativity with understanding that what we do, there really isn't no set schedule. You have to set the schedule. You have to make the opportunities. You have to be the building blocks to success in everything that you're doing. So, that's been my come up from when I started music, how I got started, into now.
I mean, and it sounds to me like you've had to just be really open-minded, be really adaptable, and more than anything, just be persistent in what you're doing.
Yeah, stop trying to fight for your season all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to have other people. The longer you're successful, the more you have to balance when there's time to strike. Everybody loves to come up. As human beings, we love to root for the underdog. But only the Hall of Famers are the people who last. And the people that last know. See, everybody wants to, excuse me. The funny thing about success, right? Everybody thinks they're going to go 6-0 like Michael Jordan in the finals. Michael Jordan lost for years before he won anything. Football players, why do you think there's only been one undefeated season? You're going to lose once or twice, 3 times during the year. Somebody's going to have your number 2-3 games out the year. It happens. It's life. But you have to be strategic in how you move. You're not going to win every game. I've been able to last this long in music, wrestling music and everything, because I know when it's my time to pop out outside. I have a distinct schedule on when I pop out.
Yeah.
These 2 months, I'm gonna be
You have a plan.
I'm gonna be totally quiet. I have a plan, and that goes back to the clamps thing with strategy.
Yes.
With the S in clamps, I have a distinct strategy on when I pop out. Right now is my pop out season. Doing a bunch of media, networking, doing a bunch of things. Maybe middle of the year for a month, I don't say absolutely anything. I go dirt quiet on social media for 30 days. I do it all the time. I don't say a word. I don't post anything. Then I pop out. Pop out with another 3 months and wham, 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 wham. Behind the scenes, though, I'm loading up on content.
Yeah.
I'm loading up on ideas. I'm recording songs. I'm doing features. But I'm quiet. You have to make people, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's he doing? They want to see you hustling, but they love to miss you. So if you can balance that.
You create a demand for you. If you're
Absolutely.
always in their face, then they get tired of you. Right?
Absolutely. And that's what I learned from my come up in music. Like, if they always see you, familiarity breeds contempt. If you're always around, if you my man, and I got you, the way human nature works is, if you keep doing it, and people aren't appreciative, at some point it's going to be an issue. But, some people, if you do something for them, and you don't necessarily have that attachment, they appreciate you more. It's weird how the human mind and how evolution works. So in the music industry, I learned that. I learned how to balance it. And Joey Badass said a great thing. He said, 33% of everything. 33% of people, you work on the come up. You bring somebody up. People that, quotation, lower level than you, even though I don't believe in that. But people who are just on their rise. You bring them up. Then you 33% you network equally, where everybody is bosses in the room together. And you go to those meetings and, like I said, a Rock Nation brunch. And everybody is networking and talking business and stuff. And then you got the other 33% where you do is aim for the moon.
Yeah.
You just try to shoot your shot.
Flavor Flav was happening.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
And you need to be in all 3 rooms. So I say, be in the room where you're the man in charge. Be in the room where you're amongst other men in charge and you're equal. And then be in the room where you're the understudy, where you're the intern. If you remain the intern, the boss, and in a room with equal bosses, all 3, you'll never go wrong.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. I love that. So we're talking about wrestling. We talked about music. So what I'm trying to figure out is, were you already into wrestling pretty heavy before you started making wrestling music, or did you see wrestling as a way to make more music in a different kind of space?
I was always a wrestling fan. So my granddad, my other granddad, Charlie, he got me into wrestling from a little boy. So it was always stuck with me. So my first pay-per-view I remember watching wrestling was WrestleMania 8. At the time, I was 5. My mom and grandma recorded VHS tapes. For you youngins, we had VHS tapes. Just look it up. Camcorders, VCRs and stuff.
Most of the people watching this don't even know what a VHS is.
Absolutely. So there's a tape called Antoine's Wrestling Tape 1992. I was 5 at the time. So my very first pay-per-view I remember watching was WrestleMania 8. Indiana Hoosier Dome. Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper. Bret Hart's my favorite wrestler of all time. Bret Hart versus Roddy Piper. Macho Man versus Ric Flair. Undertaker versus Jake the Snake Roberts. Tatanka versus Shawn Michaels. So that, and I was just hooked. And wrestling has a lot of parallels with stories in life when the storyline is told right. And I was like, man, I'm just attached to this. I just love this so much. So it did so much for me, and I ended up getting very attached to it because it did something for me spiritually as a wrestling fan. It's not just the physical stuff, it's the storyline behind it. Like, Macho Man and Hulk Hogan had a rivalry because Macho Man was jealous that Hulk Hogan was talking to Elizabeth. But any man logically, why are you so close to my girl? Like, why are you hugging her like that? Like, it illogically you said, well, Macho Man's just jealous. But when you're a grown man with a woman and kids, and that certain boundary that you have with another man's woman's kind of being crossed, you look back when you're a grown man, you're like, Macho Man was right. Hell yeah, yo, bro, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, that's my lady. Like, why are you so close? Why are you hugging on her? Why are you like, yo, we ain't, shake her hand, give her a light little hug, and go about your business. My relationship with you, not her.
Yeah.
But in wrestling, they angle it as Macho Man's just being jealous. Because Hogan's the good guy.
Yeah,
It's weird how life works like that. But that was always my direct connection of wrestling. So I always got inspired by it. Then one day, I saw Roman Reigns on television, and I said, I'm just going to write a song about this guy. And guys, it went viral. The word viral wasn't out there yet in 2014. It was still it was Facebook and stuff out there, but there was no Instagram and stuff. It was pre what viral is. So I recorded the song, and it went out there to everybody. I ended up linking with Roman Reigns' family. And 2014 sold the song. Will be 11 years old, February 27th, 2025. So this year.
So this was your first wrestling theme song
that I ever did.
Now let me ask you something. You just did this on a strength, like you just did this.
It was a random idea. It was no plan.
And you didn't talk to them or nothing. You were just like, I'm gonna make a wrestling theme song.
I just did it.
And somehow
my grandmother gave me the studio money, and I went to Sarasota, and I recorded the song.
With Wiz, the dude you were talking about?
Yep, in Bradenton, yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then I just recorded it and just put it out there. I had no idea what I was doing. It was just a spur of the moment idea. It wasn't a plan. I didn't have the strategy left, like in Clamps. I didn't have the strategy.
You didn't have the Clamps.
I had it after I did.
Okay.
But this was just a random idea from the Lord. Yeah. And I just put it out there.
Yeah.
Bought the beat from my man NY Bangers in New York. He produced Ooh for Lil Ma.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ooh, and that's before he produced that.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Young M.A.
Yeah. He produced that record, but that's years later.
That's that funk, too.
But,
that the beat going on.
I bought the beat from him, and I just did it. Went to the studio randomly, that it just blew, and I said, this is interesting. I wonder how I can capitalize on this.
Yeah.
I'm going to make music for everybody. I'm a Lil Wayne this shit.
The Lil Wayne of the wrestling world.
I'm the Lil Wayne of the wrestling world. I'm going to hop on every song. Send me the record. I don't care about money. So for 3 years, from 2014 to 2017, I didn't charge a dime. For 3 years. I went to the studio. I went to T Studio, and I recorded for anybody and everybody who needed a record. Anybody and everybody who needs a record. And I didn't, my lane was, I didn't shoot straight for WWE after that. Most people would have kept saying, okay, let me do a Stone Cold theme song. Let me do a rock theme song. Nah, I'm going to start at the very, very lower with everybody else. I traveled to Maryland and MCW. My man Drolix and Dan McDevitt put me in the wrestling business. Salute to you guys. I love you guys. Out in Maryland. There was a signing. I went to go meet my hero, Bret Hart, at a signing. So what I did, the wrestler Drolix came out. He was coming out to the game, and Rick Ross saw him Black Wall Street. So I was like, nah. My manager like, you need to make something for him. He's the heavyweight champion. I randomly made the song for him. Didn't charge nothing. Just made the song out in Maryland. Took my career to the next level. I made songs for everybody damn near in that promotion that wanted a song. Word of mouth is still the best promotion in this.
Yes.
I don't care how, look, I'm looking directly in the camera. I don't care how many ads you run. I don't care how many TikToks things you run. I don't care how much radio promotion you do. Word of mouth is still the best promotion. If MP tells me something is dope and to check it out, I'm more likely going to check it out immediately than just scrolling on an ad wanting to check it out. Word of mouth is still the best promotion because relationships. There's a trust there. If he sends me a link, I'm going to click on it and check it out. Don't mean I have to like it, but it's still the best promotion. If I like it, that opens doors. Word of mouth is still the best promotion out there. So it built. My career built. So I ended up doing thousands of theme songs for everybody. Bigger names.
Yeah.
Bigger opportunities. Link with Swerve in 2017 when we started Swerve City Podcast.
Yes.
Made his theme song in 2017. He's an up-and-coming star. He connects me to everybody that he knows that are big stars. So I end up making music for a lot of them. He calls me, yo, Teasy, I got an opportunity for you. I'm going to connect you with this person, connect you with that person. So now I'm working with the upper echelon people. That goes to WWE. That goes to AEW. Yeah. So for all these years, I've just been one of the top guys because I know that, hey, I might not look like Chris Brown. I might not have the budget of Bill Gates. I might not have the status of a Lil Wayne. But I'm going to outwork. When you're arguing about how much you think you should get paid, I'm going to just do it.
Yeah.
Because I know it's going to come back.
And it did. Clearly.
And it did.
Clearly, because you did one. But what all I'm hearing out of all of this is you're a passionate person. And you have ideas and concepts. And all you did is do what you were passionate about and what you love to do with no expectation other than to just finish this project and to get it out.
Yeah.
And look at the opportunities that opened up for you, the doors that opened up for you.
That's free marketing.
Because you didn't go in it like you're trying to hit this lick. You didn't go in it like, I'm gonna get rich off this song, I'm gonna get rich off these people. You win it. So somebody told me a story a long time ago. And I'm not gonna say any names of the people. I'll say one name, right? But there was really popular DJ in St. Pete that had a major buzz, and he had this beat that he just was really attached to, and it was a fire beat. And so this other dude who's kind of like more of like a CEO kind of dude, like mover and shaker management kind of dude, he set up a meeting at Cool and Dre's studio, Hit Factory in Miami, right? And they were showcasing beats for Cool and Dre. Well, there was this young dude in there that had all these beats, and he was just giving them for free. Like, check them out. And then there was this one dude from the Berg, like pretty reputable dude, right? And I know him, like, yeah, you know what I mean? He's pretty reputable, right? But he was so attached to his price. He's like, I need $7,000 for this beat. I don't know if it was $7,000, but it was a hefty amount of money that he wanted for this beat going into this meeting. And I don't know if they bought the beat from him or what. They might have bought the beat from him. I don't know. But what I do know is that person from the Berg that was trying to hold on to his price was sent home. That little young dude that stuck around and kept feeding all these beats, saying, listen, you can have these beats. I got so many more. That was Scott Storch. And that was how he got, put on.
Stop being afraid to put sweat equity in. Sometimes you do have a name. You do have a reason to debate this. You have a reason to fight for your price.
Your value. I get that.
But you have to know when to do it. If you have no leverage in the situation, why fight it? And even if you do, say, if I fight this might be a one-time thing. But if I'm willing to invest, see where it goes. And as long as nobody's being used, because it's a tester, people in a higher position want to test to see, especially if they do good business, a lot of times they just want to see if you want it. Okay. See what this young man or this person wants it. So hey, see if he's willing to sacrifice this or that.
Yeah.
Because I have a life-changing opportunity for this person. But I got to see if you want it. I can't just openly hand everything to you. I'm not going to gatekeep anything, but you got to want it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I will tell you exactly where the pond is to get the water. There it is. I don't always have to walk you there, though. Here's the pond, though. It's right there.
Yeah.
Take 3 steps down to the right. If you need me to walk you there, I'll help you get there. But I'm not going to keep you there. There you go. So next time you know where to go back, and I'm going to go back to what I'm doing. I told you where it was. You know, like DC Young Fox had a great thing on Cam Newton's podcast. You can't expect a man to give you all his clothes, to give you everything because you're out in the rain. But if he stood in the rain with you, he supported you. He stood in the rain with you.
Yeah.
He made sure you got on that bus. But just because he didn't give you all his clothes and everything to make sure you was dry, doesn't mean he didn't look out. That situation, it was a lookout situation. Hey, you here in the studio, sometimes it ain't about the price. Sometimes it's just like, hey, let me see this opportunity. These guys are connected. I understand how the music industry is. I understand the horror stories. But let me just see how this works out. Yeah. Give them what they're asking for, and then let's see if you work it. Then if that person becomes Scott Storch, see where the industry goes because they connected him. He was hungry. He wanted it.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
It wasn't about the money. Everything isn't always about the money.
Yeah, man. I mean, on a totally different industry, I came out of prison with this stigma. You know what I mean? Felonies, and I could not get a job anywhere. I had this resume, and I tell this story on a podcast, but it's relevant to the concept we're talking about right now because, I had this certification that I got while I was away. It was legit. It was like an accredited trainer certification. And then what I started to do when I was away was build this resume. So I started, training people. I started teaching classes. I started creating classes, and I was getting paid from Gatorades, right? But I was loving it. But what I was really doing was I was building a resume so that I could come out of prison and not say, oh, I haven't worked in 5 years. No, I didn't say in my resume I'd worked in, whatever Federal Bureau of Prisons. I said I have X amount of experience teaching this class, teaching that class, and I could show and prove my work, right? Well, when I came home, interviews would go great. And then I would have to say, by the way, I need you to sign these papers. I'm living at a halfway house. Oh, and then all of a sudden it goes south. It's like everything changes. It's crazy how the handshake goes from firm to eye contact to like dead fish and no eye contact. Like that, man. For the same people, it's crazy how, but what I had to do to circumvent all of that was I had to show people a work ethic, right? And there was this opportunity that came about where it was like, all right, you want to work for us? Show us what you got. They didn't ask about my background. They didn't even ask me for a resume. They said, they told me to, take 8 classes, shadow 8 classes, right? This is group fitness. And I did that. And then I was right back at, okay, I took 8, I shadowed 8, what next? Well, let's see how you sound on the mic. Give me the mic. I get on the mic, and I got the voice, but I got to learn the inflection, the vocal control. You know what I mean? The projection of my voice without too many plosives. You know what I'm saying? Like trying not too breathy. And but time and time again I do that, and I'd go and I'm doing all this at 5 o'clock in the morning. I got to be at work at 9. So I'm not getting paid for any of this. I'm about to go do that after, but it's doing this that in the beginning, I know that these people looked at me and they were like, yeah, we'll let you try, but it was cool because they gave me an opportunity, even though they didn't take me seriously. But when I showed up every day and they're like, wow, this guy, like, he's not going anywhere, and then eventually it's like, all right, well, let's see what you got. Coach a block. I coach a whole block. Next thing you know, people are saying, hey, when does he coach? They want to take my classes. You know what I mean? And it was just that willingness to be able to do something that you're not getting paid for. You know what I mean? But I did get paid for it. I got paid through experience. I got paid with knowledge. I got paid with wisdom. You know, they used to pick me apart, the other coaches, because I wasn't a coach yet. They would write down everything I did wrong, everything. And then they put the little paper there, you need to work on this, and this. And sometimes I think they were doing that almost to run me off. I know a lot of it was sincere, but sometimes they're like, damn, you don't like the way my voice sounds? Like, well, that I can't really help. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I would go in there and I would refine everything. And then I'd go back the next day totally for free. And now that list gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Now they're trying to find something I did wrong. You know what I mean? And it's like, you apply that same formula to anything in this life. Right?
Here's the thing, right? Why do I need to stress out over something there's no guarantees in? I'm just going to give it my best shot.
Yeah.
Because when God calls us home, none of this comes with us. Mm-hmm. All we have is our legacy.
That's right.
So why do I need to stress over, I'm not getting paid for this or I'm not getting paid for that? All that comes back. Every successful person you see, when you're scrolling your phone, everybody says, don't worry about the money at first. Don't worry about the money. It'll come. And it will. But you just have to work to open those doors.
Yes. It was like
what I do in wrestling music, I'm experienced on that. I'm a sensei. What I do in something else, I'm a total rookie. I'm always learning. Be a Swiss Army knife. But I'm still learning as a sensei in wrestling music as well. I don't have all the answers. But I'm very experienced in it.
I love your Swiss Army metaphor. That's the second time I've heard you say that today. I love that metaphor.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be. And that's how you remain adaptable. You know, eventually, you start out young as the star player on the team. Then as you get older, they draft other people that becomes the younger stars, and your job becomes a locker room leader more. You're not necessarily required to score 30 a night or, you know, hit the most home runs on the team. You get a little older, your job becomes now to keep the locker room together, to get the next crop of guys up to keep you winning championships. Because as your body starts to change in your late 30s and you're not the athlete you was when you was 23, you need to get that young 23-year-old who got the energy and that young bull and just teach him the way of the wolves so you can keep winning championships. Yes. You was the star player. Now it's time for you to be a team player. It's two different things, but you still win both ways. You know, you can be the star player and still be a team player. You know, my brother Swerve's on TV each and every week. Superstar. Champion.
Shout out Swerve.
I don't mind supporting him in what he's doing and help building his brand. I'm 100% comfortable with what Monteasy is doing.
Yeah.
But if it helps him being, like I said, when I first started teaching him how to rap, I said, look, in Wu-Tang, you're going to be Method Man. You're going to be the star. You're going to be the guy, you're the tall guy, the women like you. Market that. I'm going to do everything I can to help push that because you can be the Method Man of the group. I have no problem being Raekwon. I'm still a legend. I'm still on stage with you.
Yes, sir.
People still going to check for Raekwon albums like they check for Method Man.
Absolutely.
I have no issues. You know what I mean? Passing the information and the torch to the right guy that can take it. So that's what I'm saying, where everything isn't about the money. It's the journey.
So, yes, absolutely. It's not the destination. It's the journey.
Absolutely.
Right?
And you appreciate it more.
And the journey is where you establish the Swiss Army knife. The journey is where you get all the tools on your tool belt. You know, like everybody wants the money and they want the bag. But if you haven't established the skills to acquire the money in the bag, you're just going to blow the bag.
How do you building relationships is building a relationship, which means that if we're building things, you have to start with the tools and the stone and the bricks, and you're building something.
Yes.
When you build something, everything isn't always with the money. You pay the architects, but the architects have to get the workers, the construction workers. Everything has to be built, and those buildings take time. You're not going to build this building here in 2 weeks. everything's got to be constructed. You got to get the electricians. You got to get the plumbers.
Your relationships.
Your relationships. And everything has to be built over time. So it's the same thing with a direct connection. It's not always going to be about the money. These things take time. But only in this world do we just want me, now. And then we close doors to blessings because they're like, nah, he don't want it. Let's just pay him this one time and he out the door. We're just going to pay him his service. He's going to keep fighting about this. Not saying you can't be about your business, but like I said, you got to know when to fight for your business. If you have an established situation, if I walk into MP shop and I'm asking for an opportunity, I'm not going to fight you about the opportunity that you're giving me. Now, we can negotiate price and we can negotiate all that. But if you give me an opportunity and you're opening the door to me, I'm not going to fight it. Once the door's open and then you start knowing your worth, then that stuff gets talked about. But I'm not going to walk into any inclination of any situation fighting that. Another thing. I've been making wrestling music 11 years. Wrestlers still hit me up to this day. And they be surprised, oh, you only charging this much? You only doing this much for it? Bro, just send me the record, bro. This is my price right now. He said, man, that's affordable. Yeah, man, I got you. It's not about, who knows? For you cutting that deal, you'll always have a repeat customer when he wants a new song. Because he knows you're not going to kill him. And I understand, bro. You're a working man. You know what I mean? You got your family stuff. Hey, this is my price. If you can pay it now, I got you. If not, I'll work with you.
Yeah.
Any wrestler will tell you that, I'll work with him.
Man, so I want to get into how you got into podcasting. So you started podcasting with Swerve?
Before that.
Okay.
I started podcasting. I did More to Life Radio.
Oh, yeah. You told me that in the car.
Yes. Yes. So there was a site called Blog Talk Radio back in the days. And I used to do a podcast on the phone. And it was a site where you talk on the phone and it records the audio. So me and a couple of my friends, shout out to Cash, shout out to Rob, Brandon B. Scott, Will Green, we all did a show where we would just talk sports and life and stuff on Blog Talk Radio, and they record it. We just take the audio and put it out there. More to Life Radio. So at that time, I'll just reach out to people. I had Marie Space, NBA player. I had a lot of famous people that just would come on and do it. That's dope. Just reaching out to people, networking.
Yeah.
Then I linked up with Swerve in 2017 for us to do Swerve City Podcast. I booked him for an interview on my show, but he asked me to do a podcast for him because he liked the way I did it. So we podcast for, now we're going on like 2017, well, like 8 years, 8 years podcasting together.
Yeah.
Then I started, I was still doing my solo thing. Then I renamed More Life Radio to Teasy's Table around COVID, 2019, 2020. So that's when I started doing Teasy's Table. I got Teasy's Table Enterprises, LLC'd, and, made that an official business. And then I was like, okay, I got it. So then I said, let me change the direction of my show, though. So I said, let me do the solo thing where I just have direct conversations with people about life and things outside of what they normally do.
I love it.
So if you're an artist, that's great, but I want to talk about the things around it that base this. Mental health, struggle, family, things around that. You get asked, what's your favorite song you ever did? I'm not going to ask you that. I'm going to ask you around those things. Okay, you made this song, but what were some of the mental blocks that you went through during the creative process? What are some of the things in the music industry that you learned that helped make you who you are today? Those things outside of it that people learn the person outside of that. And that's why I schedule my podcast the way I do. There's such deep conversations. I want people to intake what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's why I schedule them the way I do and put them out the way I do. So that's why I was able to make a building block of success with Teasy's Table. Because they know when I drop, it means something. There's a reason why I'm doing it.
Yes.
There's a reason this episode's coming out. So it might not be as often as I normally would like sometimes, but I want the message to get across.
Yes.
I'm not a do this for the algorithm person.
Yeah.
I do it because it's in my spirit. I'm the algorithm.
Yes.
Not the computer.
Okay.
Not a button.
Yeah.
I'm the algorithm. So when I decide to drop something, this is what it is. and let them catch on. I always tell people, if I'm 3 years ahead of people and stuff I'm saying they catch on 3 years later, that's fine. But I'm gonna be the algorithm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna let the internet or a piece of a button or computerized things tell me my outreach and what I could do and numbers that are inflated and stuff that could be made up. I'm the algorithm. When Teasy's table drops, when the Monteasy song drops, come check what I'm doing. They'll catch up.
Yeah. And you've built that just year after year, staying consistently building this basically this network, these connections, this audience, this fan base, or just, like-minded people that are interested in what you have to say. I mean, I know you've been through a lot, and I know that many, if not most, the vast majority of people that have been through some of the things, just some of the things, not even all of the things that you've been through the towel in a long time ago.
Right.
And you didn't. So tell me what keeps you going, what keeps you pushing through those things, and if you want to talk about some of those things that you had to go through,
yes,
what
sir.
you had to do to make it,
Yes,
you
sir.
know, that's what the audience, they're here for the story. They want to know Teasy and what keeps Teasy going, and what maybe tried to stop Teasy, but Teasy not to be stopped.
Yeah, so thank you for that. Thank you for the platform to be able to talk about it. Well, in 2020, I was diagnosed with heart disease.
Oh man.
So I was diagnosed with heart disease due to, some doctors said it could be complications from the COVID shot. Some doctors said that it was just from dieting, from stress. But I was about almost 70 pounds heavier than I am now. So I lost. Right now, I've lost about 60 pounds.
That's what's up, man. Congrats.
Thank you. So I still got more to lose, but it was a time when it was bad. So one day I'm sitting in my house and all this water retention, a bunch of water in my body, and I was talking to my grandmother. I said, "I'm going to the hospital."
You were feeling that. You weren't feeling well.
I wasn't feeling well. I just felt it. I go to the hospital, and the doctor was like, "You're lucky you came because you have heart damage." And there was a time where I wasn't able to lay flat in a bed because of the water in my lungs.
Oh man.
So I got diagnosed with something called COPD.
Yeah, I know exactly what that is.
Chronic
It's usually
lungs.
people that smoke
Yeah.
and smoke and smoke. You don't even smoke.
I don't smoke. So it was water in my lungs. So they had to pump out the water out of my lungs. Then they said, okay, now you have to work to get your heart back stronger. You do that, while the water retention is going to come up. And I still got some of it, but it's definitely gone way down than it was. You see me like a year and a half ago, how I looked on some of the Swirl City podcasts, and now, drastic difference. So what I had to do was I just had to get in go mode.
Yeah.
I said, I got kids to live for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting younger. I got a teenage son. I got a daughter that's close to teenage years. I got to be here.
Yes.
I got other kids, in other states that, with their mom. I got to be here. I got to be here so my grandmother can see her grandson be successful. And I live with the old adage, bro. You're gonna have to take me out, bro. Like I'm that person that's in that movie, like the bad guy that's in that movie where Thanos is gonna keep fighting, bro. You're just gonna have to take me out. You're just gonna have to take me out, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that was like Bane and Batman. Like, that was a tough bastard. I mean, he fought until he had nothing left, and that's how I live my life. I'm gonna fight because this is all I got. Nothing is guaranteed. Every day I wake up is another opportunity. With these health issues I went through, every day I wake up, I thank God.
Amen.
I thank Him every day
Amen.
because people are waking up. People are passing younger than me in my late 30s, and the fact that I'm waking up, I know God has a purpose for me. So with all this health issues and stuff that I went through, I just treat everybody well. I'm thankful. I'm blessed. You know what I mean? I'm not arguing. I'm not going in the back and forth with people. I know that with this health concern, people don't realize during 2020 to 2024, I had different inclinations while I was in the hospital. People don't realize what you go through when you're confined to a hospital bed and wires. You have to ask to go pee. You have to ask to go piss. You're confined to wires and your heart's being monitored. So you literally have to lay there and relax, because if you get too stressful, your blood pressure rises up. And that's what basically I was going for, high blood pressure. The higher my blood pressure gets, the more I'm not going to get out of this hospital. So mentally, I had to learn how to be calm. It changed me going through these 3 hospital visits, being there for a week each time. Literally sitting there in the hospital bed, they're bringing you a tray of lunch. I have to sit there and watch TV, watch my blood pressure go down, go down, go down, go down. But it taught me calmness. All the nurses that came in and spoke to me throughout all these years and everything. It was like, you're such a nice guy, you're so calm. I'm not going to get out of this hospital if I'm stressing. The calmer I am, the quicker I get out of here. So why am I going to sit here and fight it? But it also taught me I have no control over everything. You know?
Yes.
I don't have control over everything. I need to be calm. I need to be a certain. It changed my life. Being in the hospital on those hospital visits. Changed my life. Because it taught me that, I'm constantly being poked with needles. Have to pee in one of them plastic containers. Have to ask to go to the bathroom. And the only way I'm going to get out of here is if I just relax. Let the doctors do their job. So I use that adage in everything in life now. It changed me spiritually. It mentally changed me. And it just made me a different person. Those hospital visits for all these years, I was going back and forth for all these years, changed my life. Changed me spiritually. I did everything that I've done to just be a better person. It did everything around me to change me.
And then what's the adage? The remain calm?
Basically to remain calm.
Yes.
And that you don't have control over everything.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? No matter if you try your best, you still don't have control over it. And all you can do is do your best. That's the overall message. And that goes back to the concept in Clamp. The concept is, what am I fighting for? I'm fighting for my children. I'm fighting to live my dreams. And also learning that I don't have control over everything. As long as you give it direct effort, live with the results.
Lay in the bed you make.
That's it.
So you better make it right.
If you have good karma, naturally it's gonna work better for you.
Absolutely.
If you don't, you get what you deserve. Like they say in business, you get what you negotiate. In life, you get what karma gives you. As you see in the entertainment industry, with everything that's happening with certain people or anything, it comes back.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people that I know and that I love, that I care for, don't believe in karma. I mean, my whole thing is, to me, karma is just spiritual physics. You know what I mean? You can't defy the laws of physics. Punch that wall as hard as you can. What's going to happen? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Yep. You know what I mean? And so
it's the law. It's the law of averages, man.
Yeah.
Last thing I'll say on this point is, I go back to sports again. If you're a baseball player and you hit the ball 3 out of 10 times in your career, you're a Hall of Famer. You failed 70% of the time. You only got to hit 30% of the time. But if you average 300, which is 300 average out of 70%, you're one of the greatest hitters of all time. But that also means you failed 70% of the time. Why stress over it?
exactly.
I got on base 30% of the time. I got on base. That's all that matters, getting on base.
So I know you got a lot of stuff cooking.
Yes.
And there's one thing I'm super excited about that you got going on right now, but I'll let you tell it because I want you to talk about what you're excited about, anything that you're actively promoting right now.
Yes.
Tell these people where to find you, how they could connect with you. If somebody might want a theme song from Theme Song King, you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
So tell them how to first, like, what you got going on. music, podcasting, wrestling, theme songs, whatever, man. And then where can we find you?
Yes. So first, as you guys see right here, I'm gonna sit up.
Monteasy.
You know what I mean? This is the Stomp Out merch right here.
Yes. Oh, I didn't even see that, bro.
My new,
that's fire.
My new song, Stomp Out, featuring one of the biggest independent artists in the world right now, LaRussell.
LaRussell.
Out of California. Shout out to my bro who hooked me up with the
Vallejo.
Vallejo. You know what I mean? The biggest inspiration right now to independent artists on how to do this. Shout out to you, bro. Hopefully one day we can put this in the universe and do this song live together, do a video together, putting that in the universe.
Yes, sir.
And the law of great averages. We have a song out now called Stomp Out, produced by my bro Kofi Cooks. And it's on all streaming platforms right now. Make sure you guys check that out. Also go to teasystable.com to get your official Stomp Out merch. Go to the shop section, order your merch, hoodies, shirts, mouse pads, whatever, mugs for all Stomp Out. Also my Teasy's Table stuff, More to Life Visions, Teasy's Table merch, everything is there along with the Stomp Out merch, so make sure you get that. That song is out right now. I thank him for giving me the opportunity to do a feature with him. It's been nothing but phenomenal feedback on the record.
It's fire. I heard it. Hey, I'm vouching. I co-signed.
Thank you.
Stomp Out fire.
Thank you.
Fire.
Thank you.
Put it on repeat.
Thank you.
Straight up.
One of my most proudest records I've ever done. In my longest tenure of doing this. So yes. I'm grateful for that. Podcast, man. Teasy's Table. We have a lot in the can that I'm working on. I have a lot of episodes that I'm shooting just to have in the tank. And, I am just stocking up content.
And we can find that on any platform?
Yes, youtube.com/Teasy's Table ENT.
Yes.
For where I stream it. Go to Spotify, all places where you get your podcasts. Put in Teasy's Table, subscribe, and you guys can get the audio version of those episodes. Video versions will be on the YouTube or on my website at teasystable.com.
So real quick, I always do this, so forgive me. I don't mean to interrupt you.
Sure.
But I don't think everybody knows how to spell Teasy, right, for Teasy's Table.
Right.
And I don't know if everybody knows how to spell Monty, because your music, we got to find you through Monteasy, right?
Yes. Thank you for that. So if you search for me, Monteasy on all platforms, if you want to search for my music, that is my name on social media, Teasy Jones on Instagram, Twitter, or X, Twitter, on all things is Teasy Jones. So follow me on there on all things there. But Monteasy, if you want to find my music on all streaming platforms, is Monteasy. Teasy is just a shorter name of Monteasy. And the funny thing is, to give you guys an inclination of what Monteasy is, my first rap name was Message Montana after Scarface. The Message was my first rap name, Montana, after Tony Montana on Scarface. So it was Message Montana. Lil Wayne's rap name, he had a rap name, he went by Weezy, for short for Lil Wayne. I took that and made Monteasy.
Monteasy.
So that's all it is. So when you say Monteasy, it's basically an acronym of Scarface.
So that's
Monteasy.
Monteasy.
And then Teasy's Table is Teasy Table. Teasy's Table, add an S to go to the website, Teasys Table.com.
Teasy'sTable.com.
Yes, sir.
Monteasy on all streaming platforms.
Yes, sir.
And your socials?
At Teasy Jones on Instagram, X, everything. You guys can follow me. If you guys want to get a theme song or anything like that in that relation, MonteasyTV at gmail.com or DM me. A lot of times you can speak to me directly. If it's anything to do with any companies, I'll get you connected to my manager and stuff like that. But for the most part, you DM me correctly and DM me consistently. I answer back to everybody. So make sure you guys just DM me, holler at me, and if you want a theme song, we can work it out and do great business together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, listen, this is the theme song king right here, y'all.
And to give you some advice, you need to record your own theme song for your show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what's up. Stay tuned.
Yeah, you should record your own theme song for this and have it play before it.
I actually have one, and I
put it out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's big too. Like
a nugget. I'll say this publicly too. If you have a podcast and you make your own theme song, publicly have the song play before the podcast for at least 25-30 seconds. It'll count as a stream to what you're doing.
Okay, see, all this game, all these jewels.
I'll give you the game, man. Right? Hey, just a nugget. When you record a theme song, before this podcast, your podcast come out, let the song play for 30 seconds. It counts as a stream towards your YouTube and everything you got going on.
Yes, no, that's game, bro. So you've been dropping all these jewels, you've been dropping all this game. I mean, it's pretty much a wrap, but I just want to make sure you don't have any closing remarks or any advice that you want to give to anybody going for something out there, man.
All right. I'll say this in closing.
Yes.
I'm set up when I say this. Look, I'm a guy, man. I was born in New York, raised in Florida. I didn't start with no huge budgets. I didn't start with no major team. I'm a guy that's battling, coming back from some health issues, that's just loving life. I try to be a good dad. I try to be a good person. I try to, give people what was given to me. When I got on in wrestling, a lot of people looked out for me. When I got on in music, a lot of people looked out for me. I try to be the same way for people that are looking up now. Don't always worry about the money. Don't always worry about what you can get in the immediate. It's always a 50% thing. You get what you give. You give 50, you get back 50. Same thing like if you're in a relationship with somebody. Some days you're going to be 70% and they're going to be 30%, or the other way around. You just got to invest and put in the work. Treat everybody the same. When you walk into a door, shake hands with the person that's cleaning up the bathrooms the same way as the owner of that building that's paying you. You will never go wrong. Give everybody opportunities that's earned it, that deserves it. Know what to fight for. Learn what to debate and argue about, because everything isn't worth the fight. But what is worth the fight is your dreams and everything that you're doing. Be careful what you go to war for, because war requires strategy and it requires a lot of energy. Worry about winning the war later instead of worrying about winning every battle, because most people that win all the battles don't always win the war. And that could be with life, that could be with anything. So in closing, on this wonderful podcast, I just want to tell you guys to keep going for your dreams, keep sacrificing, keep striving. Don't worry about how long it takes. Just worry about getting there. And one thing I can tell you in life is, in closing, don't always worry about the elevator when the stairs is right there, because I'm telling you, it will last longer and you will last longer. And in Jesus' name on that.
Yes, sir. Words of wisdom from Monteasy. Make sure y'all check out Monteasy on all streaming platforms.
Yummy!
Teasy's Table. And make sure you check out that Stomp Out featuring the Russell. That's that. I'm telling you right now, don't sleep on it, man. Listen, I appreciate you so much, bro.
Peace,
it's been a blessing to have you on this show.
Peace,
I can't thank you enough for coming out.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to definitely check out that site and that merch website one more time.
www.teasystable, TEASYS, table.com. Get your merch. All merch is there right now, man. Make sure y'all support a brother. Retweet, share it. I'm reposting, commenting on everybody. So, show love.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Monteasy, y'all, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate y'all tuning in. It's Live Struggle Legacy. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification button, drop a comment. And if you're following us on a streaming platform, make sure you hit the follow button, drop us a review, leave us a comment, tell us what you think, get active. And if you're looking to have your business promoted, holler at us. We'll look for sponsors. We can talk about your business, maybe even do a little drop for you, maybe even bring you on the show to talk about yourself. It's Live Struggle Legacy. We building pyramids.
Yummy!
Live Struggle Legacy. It's a whole movement.